Shohei Ohtani isn't being treated differently. He's forcing the game to confront something it's never had to manage before. Because what looks like special treatment is actually a structural problem, one the rules were never designed to handle. And the moment that tension becomes visible, like it did in Toronto, the conversation shifts from performance to fairness. That's where this gets complicated. On the surface, the situation seems minor. Ohtani takes longer between innings. George Springer gets frustrated. Umpires hesitate, unsure how strictly to enforce pace. Dave Roberts steps in and says what everyone already knows: Ohtani is different. End of story. Except it's not, because timing in baseball isn't just procedural, it's strategic. The pace of a game affects rhythm, it affects readiness, it affects execution on both sides. And when one player operates outside that rhythm, even slightly, it creates friction. That's the obvious narrative. A superstar gets extra time because of unique responsibilities. The opposing team doesn't like it. Tension builds. Simple. But that explanation skips over the real issue, because this isn't about time, it's about transition complexity. When Ohtani reaches base, he's not just another runner. He's a starting pitcher who now has to become a base runner, then revert back into a pitcher within minutes. That means removing gear, resetting physically, rebuilding arm readiness, recalibrating mechanics. For a normal pitcher, the time between innings is passive recovery. For Ohtani, it's active transformation. That's a completely different demand, and it creates a hidden imbalance in how the game flows. Here's where it becomes strategically significant. When Springer, and by extension the Blue Jays, push for a faster pace, they're not just complaining, they're applying pressure. Because speeding up Ohtani doesn't just reduce time, it increases the likelihood of mechanical inconsistency. Less time to reset means less precision in the next inning, and against a pitcher maintaining a scoreless streak of nearly 30 innings, even a slight disruption matters. That's the deeper layer. This isn't frustration, it's gamesmanship. Force him to rush, break his rhythm, create one inning where things aren't fully aligned. That's how you attack a pitcher you can't otherwise solve. Now, flip the perspective. From the Dodgers' side, slowing the game down isn't favoritism. It's preservation. Ohtani isn't just another player. They're managing a dual workload that compounds stress every single inning. If he's on base, that's added exertion. If he has to immediately pitch again without proper reset, that's elevated injury risk. And over a full season, that risk multiplies. So when Roberts defends the extra time, he's not arguing for advantage. He's arguing for sustainability. That's the hidden factor most people miss. The conflict isn't about fairness, it's about competing priorities. One team wants to disrupt rhythm to gain an edge, the other wants to protect rhythm to maintain performance and health. And the rules, they sit uncomfortably in the middle, because baseball has never had to legislate for a player like this. The turning point in this situation isn't a specific play. It's the moment umpires hesitate, because that hesitation reveals uncertainty. Do you enforce the clock strictly and treat Ohtani like every other pitcher, or do you allow flexibility because his role fundamentally breaks the standard model? There's no clean answer, and that ambiguity creates opportunity for both sides. If umpires lean strict, opposing teams will push the pace aggressively. If they allow flexibility, frustration builds and complaints escalate. Either way, the game is being influenced by something external to pure execution. That's rare, and it matters. Now zoom out. Ohtani is currently sustaining 2 elite streaks simultaneously, longest on-base streak in the league and longest scoreless streak among starters. That's not coincidence, it's control. He's managing 2 entirely different performance systems at once and keeping both stable. But stability depends on routine, and routine depends on time. Disrupt that even slightly, and the entire balance becomes harder to maintain. That's why this issue is bigger than one game in Toronto. It's a preview of what the league will have to deal with all season. Teams will test the boundaries, they'll push pace, challenge timing, look for any edge to disrupt him, and the Dodgers will respond by protecting his process as much as possible, because they understand something fundamental. Ohtani's value isn't just in what he produces, it's in how consistently he can access it. For the Blue Jays, the approach is logical. If you can't overpower him, you destabilize the environment around him, speed him up, apply pressure, turn routine into urgency. For the Dodgers, the response is equally logical: slow it down, maintain control, eliminate unnecessary variance. And in between, the umpires become the deciding variable. That's the real battleground. Not the batter's box, not the mound, but the space in between innings, where rhythm is either preserved or broken. In the end, this isn't about whether Ohtani deserves special treatment. It's about whether the game can remain structurally consistent when a player exists outside its original design. Because right now, Ohtani isn't just dominating opponents. He's forcing baseball to adapt in real time. And every extra second he takes between innings, that's not a delay. It's the cost of sustaining something the sport has never had to accommodate before. They didn't like how long he took. And for a moment, the game itself felt like it was turning on him. Because when George Springer started complaining to the umpires, this wasn't just about pace. It was about fairness. And at the center of it all, Shohei Ohtani, the most dominant player in baseball, getting what looked like special treatment. That's where the tension hits. Middle of the game, Ohtani on the mound. But he's not just pitching, he's hitting, running bases, swapping gear, resetting his body every single inning, and it takes time. More time than a normal pitcher. That's what sets Springer off. From his side, it's simple: keep the game moving. No delays, no exceptions. From Ohtani's side, there is no normal, and that's where the conflict explodes, because right now, Ohtani isn't just good, he's untouchable. A 43-game on-base streak, a 28 and two-thirds innings scoreless streak on the mound. That's not just elite. That's control over both sides of the game at once. So when he takes extra seconds between innings, it doesn't feel small. It feels like an advantage. And that's when Dave Roberts stepped in, not to explain it, to defend it. He's different. That's the line. Not complicated, not dressed up, just the truth the Dodgers are leaning on, because what Ohtani is doing has never been built into the rules. Pitchers don't hit, hitters don't pitch. So the system doesn't account for someone doing both at this level. Roberts made it clear: if Ohtani's on base, then has to run back out and pitch, you can't treat him like everyone else. You just can't. But here's the turning point. This isn't just about time, it's about pressure. Opponents don't just want him to move faster. They want to disrupt him, rush the routine, break the rhythm, force mistakes. Because if you let Ohtani operate comfortably, you get what we're seeing right now. 0 earned runs this season, hitters barely touching him, and at the plate, power, patience, production. So the frustration isn't random, it's strategic. Speed him up or watch him take over the game. That's the real battle, and it puts the league in a tough spot. Do you enforce strict timing rules and risk affecting the most valuable player in the sport? Or do you allow flexibility and deal with the backlash? Because there will be backlash. There already is. But the impact goes deeper. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, this isn't optional. Protecting Ohtani means protecting everything: the rotation, the lineup, the title defense. For everyone else, it feels like playing by different rules, and that tension isn't going away, because as long as Ohtani keeps dominating like this, every second he takes will feel longer. Every adjustment will feel bigger. Every advantage, real or perceived, will be questioned. One player, 2 roles, 0 blueprint. And now even the pace of the game is part of the fight, because when Shohei Ohtani is involved, nothing stays normal for long.